picking up from something from Don's talk and Norberto's talk, when you were talking about going beyond technical solution, you know, we're providing a technical solution and thinking wider. And originally when I did these slides, this was at the end. I thought, no, I'm going to bring it to the front actually. This is the problem. This is where we are now. This is just a slide of machine-to-machine communication. So Internet of Things, if you like, different names for it. And so around here we have service sectors, consumer and home, healthcare, transport. So these are the areas where IT is interacting. And if you're talking about Internet of Things and machine-to-machine communication, so traffic management I think was mentioned, you're talking about all of those things. And in healthcare you're talking about perhaps, I don't know, RFID tags or diabetes monitors or what have you. So we have the sectors, we have the different sort of application areas, if you like. So vehicles here, home care here, where are we? Security and public safety, surveillance, equipment tracking, blah, blah, blah. And then the devices that are on the end of those IT systems. And the reason I've got that up is just to show you the scale and complexity of these interactions and reaching out beyond an information system that somebody is building for some company to do some job. And these are the issues. So when was it? A year ago, I think. Internet of Things, public consultation. This is part of Europe Digital Agenda discussions. And in red I've put what I think are the key. There is invisibility, Don mentioned, I think, and Norberto, transparency. People don't know what's going on. There's a dissonance between what a user knows about what happens. So most people have what's presented there or on their phones, interact, have absolutely no idea what's going on behind, and you couldn't anyway, even if you wanted to investigate. Can be argued that informed consent by Internet of Things users or indirect stakeholders can be difficult if they don't have technical knowledge. I can give my consent to some service on the internet. I have no idea how these things happen. I don't know really what I'm consenting to. Transparency difficult to achieve even for experts in this situation, and taking and assigning responsibility becomes problematic. You have this huge system, interconnected system. Where does if we are involved in those developments and the professional is involved in those developments, where do their responsibilities begin and end? We've talked about codes of conduct. This is from the Royal Academy of Engineering in the UK, which is sort of an umbrella an umbrella organisation for the engineering, civil engineers, mechanical, electrical, and software. So BCS comes under this body, let's say. And these are some of their principles for engineering ethics, but particularly for emerging technologies, autonomous systems in this case. Okay. Actively be aware of the issues. Well, identify the issues Norberto was talking about, be aware of them, promote public awareness and understanding of the impact. Okay, so now I'm going to get on to professional bodies and their roles and responsibilities. So if we agree that there are ethical implications in information technology, and it's hard to argue, I would say otherwise, professional bodies are the representatives of ICT, let's say, the profession, I'd say they have obligations and responsibilities. In their, well, in case of the BCS, the charter, but in mission statements or, you know, whatever a professional body has on its public-facing information about what it is there to do, most perhaps, are about promoting the study and practice of the profession they are representing, safeguarding users, general public, educating the professionals, keeping your professional development up to date, and educating the public, and maintaining standards for the benefit of society. So we have BCS here, benefit of the public, standards of education, sound ethical foundation, criteria for teaching of and training in computing, obviously, standards and codes of practice. This is from the Royal Charter that it's set up on, and then all this bit at the bottom about data. This is what the BCS is specifically there to do. ACM enable professional development, benefit society. So this is what Don was talking about. And so there's an interesting bit about organisational responsibilities, if you like, leadership. And in the ACM, an organisation, they give an organisation as corporations, government agencies, as well as volunteer professional organisations. Sorry, oh, left. Crikey, okay. So, BCS is one of these people, ACM is one of these people. So they have obligations because of the impact on the public. So they must accept their responsibilities. So general themes, let's say, for codes of conduct, all the things that they say, this is what our members will do. Here we go. So, argument. ICT has a direct impact on the general public of all ages. We are talking children. We are talking older people. We are talking people who are vulnerable. People who don't have, perhaps not even literate in reading and writing, never mind literate in using this sort of stuff. ICT professionals have a duty of care, therefore professional bodies have a duty of care. So, professional body must actively promote the standards that they promise by supporting their professionals. So at the moment it seems to me, and this might just be, well, let me just say, it seems to me there is still a mindset of producing a system for a business that doesn't go beyond that. There is a lack of appreciation and beyond the business use. Now, there probably are still lots of work in those areas. But we have moved beyond, ICT professionals have moved beyond that to products that are used by the general public who have absolutely no idea what's going on behind the scenes and who are ripe for exploitation. And if you have people who are ripe for exploitation, then as a professional and as a professional body, you need to step back to your imperatives that say public safety. One of the first principles of BCS Code of Conduct is public safety, security, privacy and well-being. I don't see a lot of that happening in practice. How? Education training. So not just knowledge, again, going back to what's been said before, skills. And understanding. So, education of ICT professionals provides an understanding, role and responsibilities of a professional, expectations of professionalism, recognising ethical challenges. So that often is, as you noted, Norberto, and I'm sure any of us teaching in this area, is this sudden light in the eyes that oh, these things happen and that's ethical, yes. So it's not always easy in work practices and processes. And making ethical judgments. And that does need training. So supporting professionalism in practice. How does a professional society support a professional facing an ethical dilemma? What does somebody do? They think they're in their work, they've been told about all this stuff in their education, something happens, they're not quite sure, where do they go? Who do they ask? They ask their professional society, ring somebody up, email someone and say, I have a spot of bother, how can you help me? I don't think there's anything like that much around. What guidance on conflicts to a code of ethics? BCS Code of Conduct talks about public safety, welfare, security, privacy, talks about duty to the relevant authority, and usually the relevant authority is your employer. So sometimes those things might conflict. And certainly for anyone who works for GCHQ, I should think there is probably some sort of conflict going on over the last month. Who is responsible for what? And what are the limits? Because, you know, the burden, if we say the IT professional should take responsibility, and they're in this complex business, you know, they're all going to be walking around like this, with this worry of what they may have done that could affect somebody's life. So what are the limits of responsibility? In feasible, practical terms, how does it work? And we're faced with complex systems. What happened? Cloud. So a lot of discussion about cloud and accountability in that. Okay, so that's me done. Thank you.
Thank you very much.